episode 4 in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back, guys, to the Heartbroken and Housebroken podcast. My name's Spiro, in case you guys aren't familiar. Hit that subscribe button or follow me on all social platforms at Spiro and That Show. I have one more show on the books for 2024 before I take a little hiatus before the new year. That will be on Wednesday, December 18th at Smoke and Fire. Doors open at 7. Show will start around 8. Hit me up in the comments or the DMs if you want to come to that show. It'll be the last one of the year, and we're going to have some good time with that. So I wasn't able to put out a podcast last week because I was traveling. I was in Austin, and I had a great time down in Austin. You know, I know a lot of people talk about the Austin comedy scene, and I know a lot of people are moving there. You have Kill Tony, you have the Mothership, you have all these things happening out there, and I'm someone who I don't think I would move to Austin. You know, I've been contemplating a move. I've been wanting to see maybe if there's somewhere else that I could try, you know, somewhere where I could, I don't know, start fresh, but I have a lot of rough memories here in Vegas. You know, my father and Sarah and our relationships really blossomed in Vegas. And I'm established here. I do most of the clubs out here. I don't know. It feels like I needed a change of pace. And I was like, let me go peek in Austin. Because Austin, everyone seems to be moving there. Everyone talks about how amazing it is. Let me see what it is all about. And it's incredible. It really is. It's fun. It's like a comedy summer camp. I saw friends from different scenes that were moving there, just moved there, visiting for the first time. You literally, it's like everything's within a 1.5 2-mile radius. You walk around, you get pizza, you bump into your friends, you take shots at the bar, you hang out. And it was a good time, man. It was the first time I went somewhere in a long time where I'm like, I don't have any planned spots. I'm just going to go and try to like hustle and try to old school network it. And I went and I wasn't expecting to get on any shows. You know, a few open mics here and there, maybe like a local showcase if I knew somebody. But I was able to get on 6 shows and I had a great time. And it was just one of those old school ways where just reaching out to people, being around, like, it was fun. It was a different muscle that I haven't worked in a while. And I could see what the allure is because there's stage time everywhere. You know, I was only there for 4 days. I got on stage 6 times and I literally had nothing planned. And there were other opportunities where I could have got on stage, but I was exhausted. It's fun though, man. Austin's a cool place. I was able to get up at the Mothership, which is gorgeous. I think all the hoopla surrounding it, I think it's there, like, because it is a gorgeous club. They do get great audiences. They do run it very, very well. They have the Creek and Cave, which is dope. That's like where all the comics go and hang out. I got to hang out and meet a whole bunch of new people. And it was just fun. But the big question I got was, am I going to move there? And I'm not. Not at this second, at least. At least I don't think I'm going to. This might be a quarterly trip. Austin might be like a quarterly week trip because something about just going on the road for a week and just doing comedy, like, really kind of just sets me in a good place. You know, I don't know if I could do it all the time on the road. I like my bed. I like to eat food I like. I like to be on my schedule. I like to have my car. But a week of just, you know, grinding as a comic, it's fun, man. It's like liberating to the soul. I went there and I was just like, I'm going to work on this widower material till I'm blue in the face. That was like, because I was like, I'm going to Austin, I'm going to Denver. I'm going to work on this widower material. Because in Vegas, I work on it, but, you know, we're a little more touristy. People want to see a little bit more. They're not here for deep-rooted personal stories that you make humorous. They want like, hey, we couldn't afford to see Blue Man Group, bro. Fucking entertain us. Bang on some drum. Just paint your face blue. Like, do something to entertain us. Yeah, your wife died. Cool. Like, That's not the Blue Man Group we wanted. We wanted the Blue Man Group that plays drums, not just is blue and sad. But it was interesting being in Austin because I thought, especially when I saw a bunch of the comics go up, I thought this would be the place where I could work all my widower material, all the stuff that I haven't really been able to do on stage, that I'm writing that's a little darker than the stuff that I'm doing now. I thought Austin would be like the place for that. I thought they would be like, hell yeah, edgy, smart, personal, like, here we go. And they were. That's not where I'm getting at. It's not like I didn't do well, because I did very well on all the shows that I was on. But it's interesting because a lot of the comics I heard go up, a lot of use of the word, a lot of material going on in Austin, and audiences eating it up, laughing, ha 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 ha. Nothing's phasing them. I go up and I say, my wife died almost 4 years ago, and literally people gasp. Which is bizarre. Like, it's bizarre to me. It's bizarre. Because people are talking about touchy subjects, Like, those are hard subjects that people are talking about, and rough words and segregating words that cause a certain emotion, and people are eating it up. But then I go up and I say a true thing that's happened to me that I'm trying to work out and talk about, and people's first instinct is to gasp. I heard abortion jokes. I've heard domestic assault jokes. I heard so many crazy, touchy subjects hit. And then I say that my wife passed, and everyone goes, oh! And it's interesting to me. It really is interesting to me. Why? Why is joking about death, why is that automatically something where people gasp? Or why is that something where people are taken aback by? You know what I mean? Like, and people get taken back by those other types of jokes, right? If someone does like an off-color joke. Yeah. And even if it's like smart, well thought out, uses, like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's a perfect joke around it, it still hits a nerve with people. But I don't think I've ever heard people audibly gasp at just a setup of a joke as much as I hear with mine. Why is that? Why are people afraid to joke about death? In music, movies, TV, anything, any other art medium, people use death. They use heartbreak. They use emotion. Why not comedy? Why can't comedy be a vessel for making us laugh through really tough things? Why is that something where people have to shut down? Yes, I understand. It's a hard subject to talk about, and I'm young, and I say that my wife died, so people automatically assume it's tragic. Most of the time it's tragic. All of the time it's tragic, let's be honest. But they know that it's not something like we were expecting it, natural causes. It's usually nothing where people are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I think there's something in this world where it's unknown. All those other horrible topics or controversial topics that people can make jokes about and do make jokes about, and a lot of people have very good success with those jokes. I think people kind of know what happens after that, or they're a little bit more familiar with how do I want to say it? I guess it's something that they can see what happens afterwards. So I don't want to say easier for people on the outside to process, but they're able to kind of witness it the same way. Where death, I feel like people know, like, when you die, no one knows where we go. No one knows what happens. We have our thoughts, we have our beliefs. Like, I know Sarah and my dad are always around. They're always giving me signs. Are they in heaven? Is there something else that they're a part? I have no idea. And I think that's what the gasp comes from. Because I think it's this unknown where people are like, he's going to talk about it, he's going to make fun of it, but we don't know what happens. And it's a scary thing for us. I think subconsciously we just shut off. we just shut off and we automatically be like, we don't want to talk about death. It's like a survival instinct almost. Like as soon as it gets death, or we have to think about death, or we have to comprehend death, we emotionally close off. We physically close off, because that's something that we only know when we go. And it's interesting for me going on stage and doing this material. It used to like really, really, really stress me out. I mean, right after Sarah passed, I started writing about it, and it was dark. And I'm still going to bring it back, but I just wasn't ready to talk about the subjects I was talking about. I was in a bad place. I'm still in a place where I'm trying to figure it all the fuck out. But with the support of a lot of amazing people, especially Liz, you know, the last year and a half, I've really pushed forward with just doing this widower material. Because there got to be a point where I just was like, I'm not me anymore. All this stuff that I wrote was when Sarah was here, was when my dad was here. And especially the year after both of them passed, because they passed so closely, I went through a lot of changes. And I think I tried to grasp holding on to all of that old stuff, not just with comedy, but just in general, just who I was. And then the last 3 years have been me really just coming into my own and realizing who I am and who I'm becoming and how I've changed during everything. And eventually I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to do this material. I don't care if it doesn't work right now. It's going to work. I believe in it. And Liz was very supportive of me. Still is very supportive of me on that, where it's like, you just got to do it. And boy, there were some quiet moments. There were some moments where I'm like, oh, you know, this is pretty fucking awkward. But, you know, this week doing Austin and then doing long sets in Denver, where I've learned how to blend my old material into this new material about death and what it's like living as a young widower. I think this is the first time I'm like, yeah. Like, you know, sometimes when you're painting or you're making a puzzle, you're like trying to figure out, it doesn't look good. You know what I mean? If you're making something, if you're starting from scratch, if you're like food, cooking, anything, you're making something that looks like shit when you're making it because the process isn't done yet. It just looks, and you're just like, oh, this is going to be fucked up. This is not going to be good at all. Why am I wasting my time? I've wasted an hour doing all of this. It doesn't look anything like the picture. It smells horrific. But then you're not done, but you're finally in that stretch where you're like, I see where this is all going. And I think that's where I'm at right now. I think this week, working in Austin, really working it out, and then going to Denver and doing longer sets and figuring out how to acclimate my old material into my new material and have an entertaining, thoughtful, smart show. I'm proud of myself. I'm going to toot my own horn. I don't give a shit. I'm in the moment now where it's like right before I put that cherry pie in the oven, I know, I'm like, this is going to be good. Like, we're just about to put this cherry pie in the oven. So, exciting, man. What I'm trying to say is, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted from working on this material, and I'm so proud of it, and I really enjoy doing it, and now it always hits. It used to be something where I was terrified, where I was like, I hope to God I get one laugh during this 7 minute. And now it constantly hits. There's times where I have to dig myself out of a hole. Again, people gasp. Whenever people gasp at what you set the joke up to be, you're digging yourself in a hole. But I've been able to dig myself out, just like in life. And it's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing to see. And if there's anybody that's going through shit and they're like trying to make whatever they're going through into something positive, do it, man. Like, it's really rewarding. I'm exhausted, But this last week has showed me that like everything I'm doing is working and I should be proud of it, and I am. So if you guys are listening and you're doing something like this, I'm proud of you, and continue to do it. Even on the tough days, even on the days where you're like, this is not fucking working. It's working. Like if you feel like it's working, it will work. Believe in it, believe in yourself, and you'll be stunned the kind of magic that'll come. But something I gotta gripe, not just with Austin, this is just Texas in general. I do not like Wtfburger. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are big on the Wtfburger train. And I thought, okay, I'd give it a chance. I'm an In-N-Out guy. I'm not from the West Coast, but look, In-N-Out, delicious, okay? Never had any issues with them. They cook it right there. I can see everything they're doing. And rarely, if ever, mistakes. And if there's a mistake, it's minor. Wtfburger, my first time, I landed in Texas. I'm like, oh my God, I got to the place I was staying, my boy Taylor's house. I'm like, what should we do? Wtfburger. I'm going to get Wtfburger. Great choice. Everyone celebrated that choice. Order it. I got a double patty cheeseburger with grilled onions, saw everything, just no pickles. When I get it from my Uber Eats, it was a single patty, no cheese, nothing else, with diced onions in a cup on the side and gently sprinkled on top of the burger. It looked like they literally salt bayed my burger with onions. It was the most unattractive looking burger I've ever seen. And I ate that shit. I sliced regular cheese, a block of cheese, I melted it on top, and I ate it. And when I tell you that shit was trash, it was bad, bro. That was like being catfished in a whole different sense of the word. You know, I've never been on the apps. I've never met somebody. I've never been catfished. But on Wtfburger, I felt like I got catfished. I was expecting this big booty burger. I was expecting to eat it up, be all messy on my face. And then it came and it was just totally a letdown. I didn't even want to put that thing in my mouth, but here we are. The diced onions is what really threw me off, though. They had them in like a little side cup, like a little cup. And then it was just on the burger. It was like they saw my order and they're like, double patties, cheese, all the sides, grilled onions, no pickles. That must mean he doesn't fucking want any of this order. No pickles. Fuck it, we're going to give him one patty. He wants two, we're going to give him one. He wants cheese, no cheese. He wants grilled onions, diced onions, just on top, not cooked, not seasoned, just like, whoever made that, I don't know if they could read. I don't know if they were just like mad at me. They hated my name. They thought I was Spyro. They couldn't beat it back in 2005 when the game came out, and they were just waiting for this moment to really fuck me over. I don't know what they did it. I don't know why they did it, but it was the worst fast food experience I've ever had. So fuck you, Wtfburger. And if anyone else wants to, I have a picture of it. I have proof of what this looked like, and it was not good. The onion ring's decent. I'll give the credit. Onion ring's decent. They had a good Sprite. That's not hard to fuck up. Just clean your hoses. But the burger itself, do better. And don't come at me being like, you need a patty melt, you need a honey biscuit, whatever. I got what I got. It shouldn't be like yeah, this place is great, but just don't get this. That doesn't work. Wtfburger, you suck. 1 out of 10 until proven otherwise. And that about wraps it up today for the Heartbroken and Housebroken podcast. Again, follow me on all social platforms at Spiro in that show. Also, if you guys want free tickets to my Smoke and Fire show on Wednesday, December 18th, hit me in the comments or in the DMs. I'm happy to provide that for you guys. Until then, I will see you next week.